Water elevators drive me crazy. I have spent way too long just trying to figure out silly things about... Yeah, well, you know what? I'll just show you. I'll just show you. So we all know that you can add in this whole push yourself up with soul sand thing, lovely jubbly. And then when you get to the top, you're like, well, I can't go back down that way. So you use the magma to bring yourself down. Okay, let's slowly does it. Oh yeah, and if you don't press shift, you kind of take a little bit of damage and you struggle to get out of a door. So why don't you just, you know, you might as well just use the drop. Very happy to use the drop, because the droppers we've been using for years, and you just go straight down. You're like, yep, I'm safe, no problem, no pain, no damage. And then you've got the people who are using block swappers. This is not the prettiest block swapper, let's just be honest. So at the moment there's a magma block. Now I step in, switches it to the launchy block. Nice and quick, nice and simple. You get to the top, happy day. And then after a second it switches back and the bubbles suddenly start going the other way. Oh, okay. But it's still slow. So the next option would be for a single column with water only at the bottom and then water all the way to the top when you want to go up. And that's just going to be dispensers. Pretty straightforward. I mean, I'll start off with a dispenser going all the way up. And then clears the water so you can drop straight back down. Easy peasy. This one's run by a line of observers which are in a row, and they all trigger another set of observers which turn on and dispense the water. Now the only downside is it double pulses, so if you're building it, it can be a bit annoying to actually make sure it works, but it works very nicely, and actually I like the way. I think it looks pretty cool. This one works in very much the same way, exactly the same terrible redstone extenders underneath, but I'm pushing up another soul sand into what is not a source block here, and there's a source block above, which changes this water column into bubbles, instantly updating all of the observers in the line, so you don't get the wave effect, and I think sometimes you don't need the blocks on the top to actually make sure it works nicely. So if you watch this in one go, very instant, very smooth, and then it will disappear and take away the water in one go as well. And that works rather well. Go all the way up. And when the water disappears, you can just drop casually down. Happy day. Now this is where it gets just a little bit crazy. The stair blocks now can hold a source of water, and you can push that source of water with the stair blocks. However, you can't pull it. There's a lot of other fun, weird things that you can and can't do, and I've been playing around with it, but this I have found is very reliable. I can push it. When I pull it back, there are two water sources either side to refill and create the infinite source in the middle, allowing you to create a nice little pattern that does this. As you can see, all the stairs moved into the middle, water source in the middle, and then I get some bubbles to send me up. When I reach the top, it will clear. Pistons in the middle, pistons at the back moving a block in so you can actually, so no water falls in on you. And you're ready to go again. The best thing about this is it has a little launch animation. So you sit here with the noise and you wait, you get pulled back and launched. And I just love that. It just feels, I don't know, very Thunderbirds. Bonk. Now, with all these designs, I have been using pressure plates just for ease of showing the video, but they are in a terrible position because every time you walk out, you trigger them. That is something that needs to change, but I'm not here to build the perfect thing. I'm just here to play. Speaking of play, this is me playing with the concept of multiple floors. Now I've moved into creative mode so I can show you this a little bit better because I haven't quite finished this yet, but I'd be interested to see what others suggest. I've got a few ideas, maybe some leaf blocks extenders, but basically I've taken the water elevator triggered by a water column idea, so I've just rotated it a little bit, added some pistons on the back, and added a few other little points. So the way this will work is Well, this is for the exiting mechanism, but for when you want to go to a floor, the first thing that will happen, you'll select the floor. That floor's area will say, okay, trigger that floor to be cancelled. And what it's done is it's taken a water source from here. So now there is not a water source in this block. After that, it will extend a ceiling over, which will block you from getting any higher. And then there'll be a timer for when you reach the top, or at least just before everything turns off again, which will push you out. With that trigger, the soul sand only creates a bubble column up to that block, and it means you don't get water triggered on the other side above that block. Perfect distance for you to be thrown up. I've added the block above to make sure that you actually do stop, and it's easy for those pistons to push you out when needed. But the effect of which means a rather nice and casual lift. It takes you up to where you want to go. You'll get pushed out by the pistons and you carry on. And then the reverse will happen. The ceiling will draw back. This will triple pulse to get the water back out into the original stream. And once again, from below, you would make it all the way to the top. Now the big challenge as well was getting down, but that's quite simple. Number one, you've got a straight drop, no problem at all. But to get to this level, that's pretty simple too. You'll have a trigger which will say, okay, they want to get off at this level. Let's turn on the floor. Let's turn on some water. And then once again, from the top, you drop down. Well, that's pretty straightforward, really. And then in this case, there would be a pressure plate here, which would turn off if you got off, when you get off at that floor. Returning everything back to normal. And from this floor, you could just go down. So there's still a way to go before I finish this multi-level concept, but I think the bulk of it is there. If you want to play around, give me some advice, there's a quick spin round just to help you see what things are where. But I might try and get a world download into the descriptions if I can. Point to note is all of these so far can be extended with more pulse lengthening devices like I have done there, although you can probably start moving into hopper clocks. I don't know, I've just been adding it ad hoc and being a bit mad with it, but I'm gonna just let this go and stop worrying about water columns for a little bit and focus a bit more on some more enjoyable things. But in the meantime, if you'd like to see me with any more games, perhaps more Minecraft, something else, come find me at twitch.tv/DontPokeJosh. That's it. Don't poke Josh. I'm warning you. So long, farewell, and have a lovely afternoon. Launch time! Smooth.